giving me the opportunity to talk to you. Right now in Africa, there are two mega trends. It's the fastest growth in population in the world. Where in 2050, we are going to be double the amount of people in Africa compared to what we are today. It's also, the other megatrend is urbanization. And in my hometown, Dar es Salaam, we get about 1,000 new people every day moving in. So the question is, who is going to feed the growing cities? And who are going to feed the 1.3 new hungry African consumers? The answer is rather obvious. It has to be satisfied by the local agriculture sector, a sector that today has the lowest output per hectare in the world. As an entrepreneur, I don't see this as a problem. I see it as an opportunity to do business. An opportunity that we all have a possibility to tap into and create something that is both important to people while we're having fun and perhaps getting rich at the same time. And Africa desperately needs to modernize its agriculture sector. And we, especially, and I'm now turning to you young people here, are essential part of making that happen. Africa needs your knowledge, your talent, your energy. Myself, I live and work in Africa, and I have done so for the last 10 years. I am an entrepreneur, and until 10 days ago, I wasn't even aware that I'm actually also an agripreneur. I'm very happy so. I've started a number of different companies in different sectors and different countries, and today we own and operate 7 different enterprises in Sweden and Tanzania that employ more than 500 people, 400 of them in Tanzania directly, and we have an annual turnover of about $60 million, 500 million Swedish crowns. Our largest companies that some of you might have heard of is Student Literature in Sweden, a publishing company. So, I see a huge pile of untapped opportunities within farm to fork and in developing sustainable quality agribusinesses in Tanzania and in sub-Saharan Africa. It is sad, though, that I see so few European colleagues that doesn't explore the fun and excitement in doing something that is good for Africa and that you get a very, very good lifestyle, an adventure, and you might get rich as well. So, I'm going to tell you a story, and that story is about entrepreneurship, and my other favorite topic is about myself. So this story starts about 15 years ago in Västerås, Sweden, and my wife told me that she was cold and she wanted to move to a warmer climate. And I then like to start companies, so I said, okay, let's start companies in warmer climate. So we wanted to achieve 4 goals. We wanted to fill our life with new content in a warm place. And we wanted to give back and do something good for others. And we wanted to found and build sustainable, profitable companies. And we wanted to expose our children to the real world. So we started then to look. East Asia, Mexico, Africa was not on our map. And we knew then, what everyone knew at that time, that Africa is dangerous. Malaria, famine, war, everything. So Luckily, I met a librarian in Västerås, and she was from Tanzania. And she more or less forced me to go to Tanzania. I said, why should I go there? But that was the first time when I came to a country, and we had a quite extensive country evaluation form that we evaluated from all these 4 different perspectives. And I could tick all boxes except one. And that was our sons' ice hockey. They don't have ice hockey teams in Dar es Salaam. So what I learned from those first trips was that Africa is friendly, Tanzania is friendly, it's green, it's prosperous, lots of opportunities, it's warm. My wife enjoyed that. My main business idea at that time was to start an investment company and put it on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. So I had a meeting, this is 13 years ago, with the managing director for the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. And he was very proud. He showed me his trading room that was a little bit smaller than my toilet. And then they had trading going on 2 days a week for 1 hour on the 7 companies that were listed. So that business idea was a little bit premature. But at the same time, it happened that we were closing down our printing operation in Sweden. So we then said, let's build book printing facility in Tanzania. So we did. So we built the largest book printing facility in Tanzania. And we also then, at the same time, acquired and upgraded a beach resort on Pemba Island. So that was the 2 first projects. And then one of the reasons why we went to Africa was also because we wanted to build an underwater room. So we put that one outside the hotel in the water, and it's still there. And the years went by. We now had the hotel, the underwater room, and the printing facility. But I felt I needed to start something more. So then I found a young woman, and she wanted to go into cosmetics, and we wanted to supply safe cosmetic to the young urban African woman. So we created Atsoko, and we today have 7 stores all over Dar es Salaam. The way I start businesses is I start with the right manager, finding that person, and then we find a business idea. We don't start with the business idea, we start with the person that is going to lead this. And that has to be an entrepreneur. And they are difficult to find. My experience is that if you have the right person, a kind of average business idea becomes successful. But if you have the wrong person, the best business idea always fails, unfortunately. But I found this lady, and I saw so many opportunities within the agri sector. So I was determined I wanted to start a new company now in agriculture, somewhere along the farm to fork value chain. And I found Petra Larsson, and I spent more than 2 years interviewing and influencing her to quit her well-paid job and start to work together with me instead. So after 2 years, we finally went off, the 2 of us, to get our pilot licenses in South Africa, and I had 3 months where I could just bombard her and influence her to get her to quit and start working together with me myself. And she did. So there she was, me, and we hadn't decided what crop or where in the value chain we wanted to enter. So we started quite intensely to travel to India, Vietnam, around Tanzania to see where are the opportunities. We didn't want to go heads on with any of the big guys, but it needed to be a little bit of money so it was worthwhile. And we found cashew nuts. All the cashew at that time, or 95% of the cashew, was exported raw to Vietnam and India without any processing. So we said, let's start a processing plant with such high quality levels so that we can export it directly into the highest paying market in the world, Sweden. So that was the idea. So that we did. So now we have a company with 280 employees. We ship about 1 container every 2 weeks to Sweden with cashew kernels. So if you have had cashews here that are big, white and lovely, then the probability is that they come from us. We now have 3,000 farmers, contract farmers, that get better payment. They get paid on delivery. Before, when they were delivering to the cooperative, they got paid half on delivery, and they were supposed to get the other half when the cooperative have sold it, but they never got paid. Now they get paid on time. And this company now injects about $3 million into the local economy. So, young fellows, we did get plenty of adventure when doing this. And we did create something good for Africa. And we have managed to build economically sustainable companies there. And one of the reasons why we can do that is because normally when you build a company, the hard thing is to find customers. But in Africa, there's need for everything. Or you have strong competition, but there's no competition in Africa, or it's lousy. So both the demand is high and no competition. And yes, we exposed our children to the real world. So with that, I would like to say that my wife and I consider moving to Africa and starting companies there our third best decision in our life together. The first was getting together, the second was having children together, and the third was moving to Africa. And just as a teaser for you young people, so this is how I live. Out on the savannah in my hut. It costs less than a 2-bedroom flat in Vasastan, but I'm sure it's a better lifestyle. Thank you.
Okay, I would like to have